since I laid my eyes on you, my baby. I just wanna make your dreams come true, my lady. If you low, I'll lift you up. Just let me know.
Welcome to A Goddess Life, where we explore life, love, spirituality, and a journey into the sacred and powerful heart of the divine feminine. You are a goddess, and this is your life. Let's dive in to this week's episode. The energy is so insane. I feel like I've had all this energy and moving through different aspects of it. So it's almost like hard to pinpoint or label it. It's almost like just having to let it flow.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's setting us up for this week's energy. I literally just did all this week's astrological, planetary, and there's so much happening this week that you can't not feel it. And I feel like this is the gateway or the portal into an entirely new cycle. And I feel like so many people neglect it, the people who are moving through this portal. Maybe this is what we need to talk about today, because this is the energy right now. It's intense, it's profound, it can be confusing. It's in the past, it's also in the future, it's also right here, right now. It's some things you can label and some things you can't. Sometimes it's deeply emotional, other times it's like your whole body is moving. There's just so much there that to be able to logically label it defies that. And I feel like it defies that for a reason. We're shifting into an entirely new cycle. Saturn is like, I feel like Saturn is not just the taskmaster or the discipline or the structure and the cycles and karma. I feel like we're exiting right now mini cycles within a greater cycle. So it's like all the mini cycles in the great cycle are all like coming together at once to be ended, I want to say. But if with every ending, it's really not an ending, it's a new beginning, allowing it to unfold. And I'm just being reminded of from YouTube, there was that one channel where I kept seeing Saturn and the rings of Saturn had been cracked and broken open, and Saturn stood there naked as a baby with no rings. And all of a sudden, all the flowers started to unfold as the new ring. I actually feel like that was preemptive or precursor to this week's energy. Like, what day are we? We're recording this on Monday, May the 19th. Happy Victoria Day to anybody who's Canadian out there listening to the podcast right now. But yeah, like even today, we got the moon sextile Venus today. We've got the sun entering into Gemini, and Gemini is the twins, the balancing. We've got Saturn moving into Aries. What else do we have here? So many crazy things. We've got the sun sextile Neptune this week. There's just so much. We also have Mercury sextiling karma. Mercury, which is communication, sextiling karma. Actually, that's not what's happening. Mercury sextiling Saturn, and Saturn is karma. So it's so fascinating. And Mercury is also shifting into Gemini. There's like, and Jupiter as well. There's another thing. We just had a Uranus Cazimi. Like, there's so much happening on a planetarily. It's like, how does anyone keep track of it? And furthermore, I actually feel like the greater macro point of this is to try and keep track of it is to kind of slow down the energy or the progression of what's actually happening on a physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional capacity right now. Like, to try and logically tune to all of it would slow it down. It's almost like remove the logic and just flow into it, flow open to it. And yeah. What do you think about all this?
It explains so much for me because often when I hear people talk about the astrology, it's hard to find how it's relating directly to me. But when I've seen sort of how the last week has been, there has been so much stirring in the deepest of the depths. And I see how I have turned back to old coping mechanisms that I thought I was done with, which has made me shame myself, but for no reason. I just lean back into what I know because I've done them for so many years. As you said, like from yesterday and today, the energy shifted because I'm now able to sort of put my back straight again and see how the weekend went, what I did, and just say, it's okay. Sort of starting to see forward again.
Wow, Anna, you just painted a picture that I feel like so many women experience. Seriously, like this week was Uranus. I don't care how you say it, but like that energy, it's the awakener. It's sudden shifts and changes. It's like it's a reality check, and it makes sense that we would have a re-invitation or a heaviness associated with old patterning, not because we're entering it because we're not done with it, but we're oh, before we close out the cycle. Oh, this is what I'm hearing. This is Isis, the winged one. Winged Isis is what I'm hearing. And I know she's your jam and you roll with her like nobody's business. And that's probably why it's coming through. We re-invited you to see the cycle and how it was created so that you would never perpetuate it again and not to have shame about it. But notice that we do shame ourselves. What's that? I did something the way I did it before. I didn't do it right. And we shame ourselves. Ooh, now I have Venus. Should we roll with this?
Yeah,
We
please
roll with
do.
this? All right. Okay. Now I have Venus stepping in saying, do you understand the complexities and the interconnections, all the heaviness, all the denseness, all those reality checks you've all been experiencing and the ups and the downs and the feeling weird and the feeling the foggy and the heavy and revisiting old patterns is not for you to re-entertain them or even to re-enter them. It is so that you can see what you have broken. And to shame yourself is an opportunity for you to do the exact opposite, right? Doing it in opposites. Venus says, we need you now, all the feminine collective, to embody your goddess energy, to embody your complete and utter compassion for you in all ways, shapes, and forms. This is the time. This is the new cycle. You can drop it off here. Most of you who are experiencing this, you're having all this stuff come up and out of you that are just showing you what was in there. But it is not for you to continue. It's for you to utilize the mind, which is Mercury and Gemini, which is the messenger from the gods. Mercury is the mind, it's communication. And it's showing you how you can literally see what the mind is doing, take control of it, redirect it, and write it into this new cycle. This was never meant to shame you. None of the energies at this time that you experience are intended to be held onto, nor are they intended to be reenacted. They're intended solely, wholly, and completely for all of you to clearly perceive how the cycle you were in was created so that you may see the diamonds and the pearls, release the emotional attachments to the thought forms and physical dense embodiments of them, and begin anew with fresh eyes, clearing the slate, making space in your energy. In this way, how could one possibly logically attune to this? Here's what she's saying. How could one be expected to possibly dissect, intersect, move, shift, understand it all when you are literally moving through multiple dimensions of multiple incarnations, multiple thoughts, multiple emotions, multiple visions, and multiple versions of you? It is so much easier to let go with grace and ease and allow yourself to feel and flow, to feel and unfold, to be in the not knowing, to understand that we go to places that we know not because they're good for us, but because it was all that we knew. We enter into a new cycle, just like the fool's journey. This is why Saturn's moving into Aries. It's an entirely new cycle, which means you must be willing to be in the unknown. You must be willing to move with the energy. You must be willing to get comfortable in a place where you're neither worrying, having anxiety, or shaming yourself about not knowing, but also open and attuned with great curiosity. I'm seeing Jupiter now. Ooh, Jupiter had some kind of a mix over the last week. Jupiter's expansive. You cannot expand unless you're willing to go into the unknown. You cannot expand if you've got the weight of the past holding you down, or you're clinging to it, or you're attached to it, or it's still moving in your energetic field. that means there is no space for expansion. Jupiterian energy in alignment with Sagittarius, in alignment with that spiritual wisdom. We must have patience with the self. We must trust in our process. We must trust in our innate feminine guided knowing, says Venus and Isis, that our wings are here to fly. You must put your faith and belief in the trusting that your soul innately knows how to transform through this time period, that your soul innately, even if unconsciously, understands what is happening, that your soul innately has the capacity to move you through this. The feminine wisdom that is arising is the knowing of how to transform, even when the mind can't logically quantify it. That is the invitation that all of you here on the Goddess Life podcast are being invited into. This is the space, whoa, that Anna and Aaron are holding a container for. Wow, I did not see that coming, Anna. That was not expected, any of that. I needed to hear all that from me too. That's the beauty of channeling, right? Is we get to explore and really feel through things. This is a huge time frame. This is the great awakening. How many of us actually know, like, I mean, know all the pathways, all the possibilities, and exactly how it's going to happen? Some of us think we know. Maybe we just know for our own personal lives, but maybe that's not the same for everybody else. And I feel like this is resurrecting the goddess within all of us. What a grand time. How did that
Yeah.
sit or land with you, Anna?
Oh, that was amazing. Such validation. Yeah, I think things are shifting now. And I think not just for me, I think so many women are starting to see how everything is connected, that how you feel is not just only related to how your day went or what trauma you are sort of working with and what dreams you are carrying, but the totality of
Yeah,
the energy, it has such an impact.
it is. And I think totality is the right word. And I say that because just before you said it, I grabbed my golden healer crystal. And this and Fuchite are my favorite crystals. I say that lightly because I love all crystals. And it's like, ooh, what's the shiny crystal of the moment? But it's always attuning to the energy. But I'm really attuned to the golden healer. This is a totality, says Venus, of the golden era. And the golden era requires the golden healer because you're healing the totality of so many experiences up until this point. Like, think about it. Let's say you're 70. I know you and I aren't, Anna, but that's 70 years of experiences that somebody's been working through. That's 7 decades. And they're saying 7 is significant. That's 7 decades of a way of being, of moving through life and the things outside of you. It's not always about us, but it's the totality of that that really is kind of coming full forward. And I feel like the golden healer is significant because it doesn't just heal one little piece or speck, it's the totality of it moving at once. And yeah, it's just a profound time. And I feel like a lot of women are going through this. I feel like everyone in the collective is going through this. How could you not? When you have planets shifting with zodiacs in ways that haven't been seen in 300 years, 500 years, nobody alive right now has experienced this all at the same time. This is a unique historical moment in time. And yes, this moment spans multiple moments. It's enormous and it's huge and it's powerful and it's profound. And I feel like I'm in awe. Sorry, correction. I feel like one moment I have this moment where I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, WTF. I don't even know what's happening. I'm just going to sit here because I don't know. And then in the next moment, there's like this light bulb epiphany or this moment of absolute awe of the complexity, the magnificence of existence itself. It's like moving back and forth between these two energies. How do you quantify that? I
Not
see you
possible.
shaking your head. Yeah. That I'm shaking. We're both shaking our heads here because I know the viewers can't see us, but, or sorry, the listeners. can't see us. Oh, I'm hearing this on that's another speaking of on the experience of this. Like sometimes we're just hearing voices in the ethers. Sometimes we're just feeling feelings that we can't even connect it to anything. Do you know what I mean? And we always say, oh, I want to see. And while seeing is of great benefit, the benefactor of great wisdom has many modalities and many paths and many sensory ways. When you cannot see in the dark, ears wide open. Maybe we need to just listen. When we cannot hear where it's coming from, but we can only feel it, maybe we're just supposed to allow ourselves to feel, to flow, to unfold. I feel like we can look at it in this in two different ways. We can look at all the things we did wrong and all the things that have happened, or we can look at all the ways that we're unfolding, letting go, making space. I really feel like it's a choice right now. And that's what it's illuminating, is that it is a choice. Wow, this brought me great peace and relief in a span of, on my clock right now on it, it's 2:22. I know you're in a
Oh,
completely different time zone, but I pinged to me to stick out. I feel such profound relief in this conversation that's been gifted to us through Isis, through Venus. Who else showed up? I don't even know. It just kind of flowed and moved. And I'm also hearing Chiron is playing a really big role right now, because that's why the golden healer Chiron is shifting too, or it's Chiron's doing something this week. Do you remember what it is, Anna?
no.
Oh, me either. But Chiron's, it's doing something magnificent. It's like the ending of the wounded healer, and the healer becomes healed and moves along in that healed space. I don't know why that's so, yeah, Chiron. And I'm also hearing Chiron, like if you look at the symbols, you know how Venus has a certain symbol, which is similar to the Ankh, side note. I know they're different, but it really stuck out to me this past week that Venus is a very similar energy to the Ankh, but the Ankh is like a teardrop, whereas Venus is like the complete circular energy of the feminine. With Venus, it's the cross that's underneath that circular space. And what's the cross? It's being sacrificed, it's being martyred, or the fourth dimension. Everybody has a different perspective. And what's the Ankh? It's not a cross, it's right up to the teardrop. There's a significance and a relevance to the symbology of the two of them together, particularly for goddesses, for women, for the feminine that's now arising. Ooh, and that feels really deep. And I don't know what that
Mm.
means.
I think we have really exciting times ahead of us.
Yes.
I think things are lining up. And how exciting that we decided to be here at this time
I know, right?
to experience it. That is amazing.
It is amazing. And I just think to myself, it's suddenly realizing the magic of being human, the magic of being spirit, and being able to be in the human body for such a profound shift and change in consciousness on this earth plane. It is so exciting. And in order to get excited, I feel like that's where we're dumping off, we're releasing, we're moving through all these old energetic stuff, and it can feel discombobulating, but it's discombobulating because we're disembodying all those old experiences. And it's exciting. Anna, I agree with you wholeheartedly, 100%, even when it feels like I'm in some densities at times, or I'm in like the valley rather than the peak. I do feel like this is an incredibly exciting time. And if we don't tune to that, and if we don't look to that, I feel like we can get stuck in that old energy, or feeling like we're down in that. It's so fascinating. I also feel like that's why you tune to the goddess of destruction. Giggling. You giggled at the goddess of destruction. And side note, I feel like that was you tapping into this deep, profound knowing and rooted groundedness that I always feel in your energy, this groundedness of like, oh, we're just going to giggle here. The goddess of destruction is here to literally destroy all those old things, all that shame, all that guilt you ladies feel, all that silencing you did, all that, closing in. That's all being distracted, and it's being deconstructed to build anew. What's 22? 22 is a master number. It's actually a master builder number. Whoa.
Yeah.
I needed to hear all this.
Me too.
Isn't it funny that we say it and then we're like, man, I needed to hear that, which just speaks to the wisdom that probably sits inside of all of us. When we channel through all those energies, it just taps us into it.
Mm.
Yeah, girl. I see you smiling there, and I know there's something so good. So I want to hear it.
Uh, no, I was just trying to feel into something because there's something that is I'm trying to get a handle on.
Mhm.
Um, but I think the shame that we all have felt, will feel, it feels like shit when we're in it. But I also think it's such a gift when we are starting to step out of it, seeing that, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to take up space. It is okay for me to have my own opinion. And starting to see different things in your life, which before would make you shameful,
Mhm.
and all of those starting to fall away, how much richer your life gets. And it can sound really easy for me to say that, but I have
You've
I
walked
have
it. I know you
I
have.
have
Yeah.
shamed my entire life, like everything.
Mhm.
And to be able to somewhat be on the other side is just truly amazing.
Yeah. It's you are a work of art, my friend. You are a work of art. Yeah, shame is such a big thing. And I do feel like women are shamed for taking up space or going against or being something other than what other people expect them to be. And I feel like that's a feminine archetypal wound, right? It's that you have to be this and then you feel shame because you're not. And then you try and make yourself like that. And this is like the unraveling of it. Wow. And you know what else? You saying that on it actually makes me feel, I know on YouTube, like because the energy's been so crazy that the channels, some of them are really intense. Like there's some coming up that have some darker shadow energies. Like somebody was called in Lilith and big time. And I even had on my funeral dress for it, as I had said. It was like a proper burial needed to happen for any energy associated with jealousy, betrayal, abandonment, guilt. It's super intense. And I questioned, like, am I really supposed to be putting this out there? I want to focus on all the good stuff. But then there was this moment where I thought, no, sitting in a goddess energy, being a feminine, these are all parts of the journey. This is why we've had shame. This is why we felt like we're had self-worth issues or not good enough. It's because somebody told us that we had to be different than who we were. Ding, ding, ding. So we exiled that part of us. And we're just reclaiming it all back now. And listen, the goddess doesn't say, "Oh, I'm only going to skip down the pathway with rainbows." Hell no. I feel like to truly walk in the essence of your own goddess, and every woman is a goddess in whatever aspect or form that is. I feel like truly walking in that energy and honoring that powerful essence within each of us is to recognize that the sunshine coming out your ass is because you've walked through profound shadows and transformed all those rainstorms into rainbows. I feel like that's truly the goddess energy. She's a warrior, she's a lover, she's a mother, she's a nurturer. So to say only to focus on good things, yeah, that has its place. And yeah, we're going to be doing that because we have space for it. But we need to acknowledge all these other things. And the reason why we didn't take up the space to begin with, because that's been part of the feminine journey. It's the original wound. You cannot be like you. You need to be like this. So we're going to take that piece of you. We're going to shove it in a closet. We're going to sit it in the shadow and you're going to feel ashamed and be shamed
Mm.
and then be fragmented. That is what's being culled. That's the word I'm hearing. It's being culled out of us right now so that we have the space to dance, to move, to take up space, to have power without permission. I do not need your permission to be in my power, to have an opinion, to take up space, to be seen, to choose what I want to do for me. I no longer require anyone else's permission to affirm me. Oh, such
Yes,
powerful shifts and changes right now.
so good.
It's so good.
I was taken back to yesterday. I was walking around in sort of this thing that I thought I had stopped doing, and I was feeling so bad, both physically and mentally. And then just all of a sudden, I get this clarity
Hmm.
that this is enough. This is enough.
Okay, here's a question for you. I'm curious. Is the only reason you came to that epiphany that that's enough because you re-experienced it?
I think so because I knew it was enough. It was like the last squeeze.
Got it. Now you really know.
Like
Now you
off.
know, you know, you know,
Yeah,
and you know,
I
you
know.
know.
It's in my bones now. It's enough.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? And I feel like that speaks to what they were saying about earlier. It's not meant for us to re-enter those patterns. Like everybody has free will. You can choose to, but that's not the intention of it. It's intended to show you clearly so that we're done with it.
Yeah.
Listen, yeah, I too have had experiences over the last week as well, Anna, where especially with the Uranus Kazemi, right? It's like really awakening us. Reality check. If this is the energy you're going to go to, this is how you're going to feel. Reality check. Do you want to do that? That's Saturn too, right? That karma. Do you want to create this cycle? Can you have the discipline to move along this new journey? Can you open to it? It's all so wildly interconnected. And you know what I'm seeing right now, Anna? A dove flying
Oh,
above a giant wingspan of a giant dove that obviously is spiritually, metaphorically also attuned to the wings of Isis. But I'm being shown the Isis wings comes from her. That's her wingspan of her arms. But there is another wingspan that supports, oh, angelic, that supports all of the women to arise, to purify, to transcend, to release. It's like the two wings go together as above, so below. Isis, we tune to, is like this otherworldly goddess or being. And she is that. But to invite her into our realms, we embody her wingspan through us as part of us. But they're just showing me as you, winged one, they're showing me you embodied embodying Isis. Isis is with you and you are with Isis. I'm seeing your wingspan open and it's like it's Isis's wings that open with your wingspan. It's obviously spiritually in the physical body, but they're showing me the mirror reflection above, as above, so below, as below, so above, is the beautiful white dove whose wingspan is matching the amount of space you're willing to take up and the freedom, sovereignty you're willing to embody. The dove of peace and sweet relief and purity will match it in the angelical realms. Wow, we're really going places in this podcast episode. We're just gonna let it unfold. I'm good with that on RU because that is
yeah.
incredible. And I feel like the reason it's coming through is I'm perceiving spiritually and energetically what you're actually doing in the everyday experiences of your life right now. That makes me want to cry, Anna. And what a gift, right? And maybe that's why we reflect to each other is to show each other this is as standing outside of you, this is what you're doing. I can see it. It's you embodying this, you doing this work, extending your wingspan, embodying, take up space. It's like that dove matches it and it's pure white. It's no other color.
Oh, it made me emotional. That was really
It's
good.
making me emotional too in all the right ways, right? When we're going
Yeah.
through shadow work and experiencing dense stuff, I feel like it's very powerful to be able to have something there to guide us or to give us a confirmation, whether it's just like a spiritual image like this or something like that. It brings us great relief. Going back to the 222, those messages that gave me great relief. And I feel like that's what we're all doing. It's like, yes, you're going the right way. Just flow, unfold, expand. Don't try and logically hold on to it. How could you logically understand or ascertain that? Do you know what I mean?
And it's so good how paints the picture of how the work that we do sort of is in the 3D life that we live, but also how big the work that we do actually are.
Spiritually, yeah.
It's spiritually, and it is almost impossible for us to see when you are in the thick of it, no matter what you're going through.
Yeah.
And everything that we do has such great impact, and it was so good to hear.
Yeah. And I think we do need to hear that. Like, we all live lives where shit happens. We're born into different structures, authorities, conditions, whether it's familial, ancestral, whether it's out externally and rules and regulations in the world. We're all kind of, I want to say, confined to those things until we begin to discover that we're not, and we start to do this work. And sometimes you're right, we don't see it in the thick of it. I totally agree. There's so many times where I couldn't see, and you get weighted down by that. I can't see what this is going to bring me, and I don't understand why I'm here. But to be able to have that, to know what you're doing is so huge and so profound. And every step you take, every move you make, that's what I'm hearing the song playing. Every step you take, it expands spiritually in ways that we can't even fathom logically. And Venus says, do you see what we're talking about? To be able to fathom what you are doing right now logically, who could possibly do that? That's what Venus is saying. It's true. Wow, that's a full circle.
It really is.
Wow. Anna, thank you for being you.
Thank you for being you.
I'm so grateful that you're on the path you are, that you've walked the places that you've walked. And I'm so grateful for all the places we are walking into this higher timeline, this pathway, this future, this expansion. I'm just deeply grateful for all. I'm seeing your feet, every place that your foot has stepped. I have deep and profound gratitude for. And I think every woman, to know that every place that you've stepped has been for great purpose, even if we can't see it. I have such gratitude, humble, sacred honoring for everyone listening to this podcast, for you, for me, for our daughters, for our mothers, for our grandmothers, for our ancestors, everyone that's come before us, that every step has been working towards this profound shift in consciousness collectively in the totality of it. And that every little step we take matters, even if we didn't see it. My heart is overflowing right now on another level. I can't even.
So much love to all who listens and to you, Erin.
Wow. Well, today's podcast was all about love. Every step you take is all about love. For every step that you take. Well, I feel like our job is done here for today. I feel like we can close this. I don't think we could close this episode with anything more deeply impactful or heartfelt than that. So we're just gonna wrap this up here. But yeah, it's an interesting time. It's fascinating. It's wild. It's wonderful. It's confusing. It's awe-inspiring. It's deeply loving. Let's just send some big love to each other. Flow with it.
Yeah.
Big love to the collective. Big love to all of our listeners.
Oh, thank you all for listening. It was a great pleasure to spend this time with you. I hope you have a lovely day.
And we will see you in the next episode.
Since I laid my eyes on you, my baby, I just want to make your dreams come true, my lady. If you low, I'll lift you up. Just let me know when it gets tough. Do you feel the way I do?